Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my beautiful co-stars, Judy Loge and Veronique Arsenault. Good afternoon, ladies.
We pay her.
Don't you love it?
They pay me really good.
Every
actually.
week we pay her.
I'm broke now.
No.
Welcome, girls.
Yes, welcome. The Three Musketeers, we're back at it. We have a great show lined up. Very interesting, very funny, very musical.
show.
We really do.
Yes.
We really do. I'm excited. I can't wait.
So am I.
But we're going to start off our show like we usually do, and we want to start with something positive, a thought of the day, and we usually take turns. And Veronique, you're up.
It's all me today. It's all me. All right. So it's a quote from Malala. So
Yes.
pretty much everybody knows who Malala
Yes.
is. She's
Your
almost like
chef's
Cher
side.
now. Yeah. She's almost like Cher now. You don't have to say her whole name. So Malala. So her quote is, "Let us make our future now, and let us make our dreams tomorrow's reality."
Let us make our future now. Let us make our dreams
Tomorrow's
tomorrow's reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Beautiful.
she can certainly
well said.
speak to that.
Well, my goodness.
Oh.
I mean,
Malala
everything that she's been
Yousafzai.
through. Yeah.
So to take it back to the viewers that have probably followed her, but if they haven't been,
If
she
they don't know who
was
that
the
is.
young girl from Pakistan that stood up for the educational rights for young women
Yes.
And was
and
shot in the
was
head.
shot in the head by the Taliban back in 2012, and then she survived and went on to keep advocating for that cause of educating
Yeah.
young women, and received at age 17, she was a co-recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize.
I know.
Oh, wow.
She's amazing
She's-
because
imagine.
Yeah.
well, that's the thing, right? So she's used what happened to her, to advocate for those who have no voice.
Yes.
And it's amazing that such a composed young woman, given all that she's lived through and what she's had to survive.
Yes.
And she has now used that voice to help others, and it's quite amazing. So, I love the quote because it
too.
talks about our dreams and how we can put those into reality and working so hard for them.
She's done
That's
it.
just
Yeah.
it. Despite,
Yes.
like you said, because things get tough and things can go bad, and still to be able to take all of that happened to her and still continue the same fight.
Yeah,
As a
exactly.
young,
And take
young
it and-
woman.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, her age
Yeah.
alone, to
Well,
be
it's
able
funny.
to accomplish so much.
I was thinking about today's guests actually when I was trying to figure out kind of what quote spoke to me today, and I think when our viewers get to see our guests, it takes so much courage. Like I don't have the gifts, and two, I don't have the courage that our next two guests will have to do what they do in the entertainment industry.
Exactly.
And I find
Very
that absolutely
talented.
fascinating. So that's why it kind of spoke to me about
They have
dreams.
lived their dream and they're
Yeah.
fulfilling it.
Yes, exactly. So we are going to have our little quick chat portion. What has all happened since I saw
There's
you
so
guys
much
last
going
week?
on.
There is. Last night, of course, the biggest thing, the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, which
Right?
I
Which
would
was
rather
huge.
watch paint dry. No, I would rather watch
the
paint dry.
halftime show with Adam Levine I didn't mind it.
He took his shirt off, didn't he?
He did. He did.
Oh my gosh,
He
okay,
did.
I would
I
have
don't
let
know.
the paint stay wet and
It
not watch
wasn't.
it
I don't know
dry.
if that was a
Oh.
wardrobe malfunction
Whatever.
or not,
Oh, really?
but I
Doesn't
enjoyed
matter.
it.
Whatever.
Okay,
No.
I missed that. But I
No.
would think that Maroon 5 would be a little bit of underwhelming entertainment for the halftime, just because I don't know if many people would know who's in the band aside from Adam Levine. Can you name another person besides the
Well,
front
he had
man?
a couple of rappers up there with them as well. That
Well, I
joined
think the
him.
rap portion of the show has created some controversy.
Yeah.
Because there was
Well,
a lot of F-bombs.
Oh!
Was there?
Yeah.
I didn't
They
notice
had to
that
bleep
as much
quite a
as the full-on fur coat was the first thing
Oh,
I noticed.
A real fur coat?
Well,
Bare naked ladies would not like that.
yeah, and I was just like, but
But one amazing thing, though, is that Maroon 5 donated the $500,000 that they got paid for the show to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
I know, of America.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
In conjunction
Oh.
with the NFL and the Interscope Records and
That's
Levine's,
fabulous.
Maroon
Yeah.
5, they're donating $500,000
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, for
That's
goodness
amazing.
sakes.
So
I'm personally myself listening to live music like that, songs that I've heard that are pre-recorded. I don't find the live as good. I didn't find him as
was
good.
he not good? His falsetto is incredible.
Yeah, it is. I find I'm not a huge Maroon 5 fan, but I do like him.
I love
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
But I would think compared to Michael Jackson way back when, which
Yeah.
it's never been a better show,
Or
I don't
Lady
think.
Gaga.
And Pink
Yeah.
and Gaga and all the pump and the hype and the excitement of it all would be a little bit lackluster, but
I think
maybe
that's what- yeah.
I am.
Yeah, it might
No,
have
I
been.
think that's kind of what they've been saying. But
Yeah.
yeah, and Tom Brady won his 6th Super Bowl.
I know, he's so well. He didn't
I
play well at the
know.
beginning, did he? I heard.
Well, it was 13-3.
Yeah.
I think it was the
for
lowest scoring
yeah,
football
for the
Super,
Patriots, over the Rams.
Super Bowl.
Okay.
But I mean, that just means that their their offense was working and their defense was
Yeah.
working. So I mean, really,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was a low-scoring game, but I mean,
I was
That means
really
they
more
both were really trying really hard to win it.
I'm more excited in the Mercedes-Benz building. That was the
Where they held it?
the $1.5 billion construction that
Oh
was
my
built in
God.
Atlanta, where the ceiling opens up like flower
yes.
petals.
Okay.
And each of those assembled parts are 500 tons of steel. Each particular segment, and there's 8 of them.
I
Oh,
can't-
wow.
So they unfold, like, it's amazing.
Cool.
And the work, and they got rid of all of their, signage that was such a clutter, like a lot of the, like Fenway Park and
Oh,
all
yes,
those
Right,
have
right.
this and
All
that,
that.
and sponsored by, and it's so distracting. They put a 58-foot high, 360 digital screen up
Oh.
so that you can just see everything. And
Wow.
there's
Oh,
nothing
wow.
else up there but this huge, phenomenal screen.
Wow.
So they put a lot of architectural
Interesting.
heart and soul into that design, and
Yeah.
I love
Big bucks.
the look of that building.
Big bucks for that.
Yeah.
No,
A lot of
and
bucks.
they
It
did
took
really,
19
really well.
years to get it.
And afterwards, I did watch at the end too, because they had, as they were leaving the stadium in which it had, they were a lot more in control of filtering out the people and
Good.
sending them off into different directions, so that it wasn't this mass
I hate that.
exodus kind
Yeah.
of deal,
Yeah.
so that there was zero. Because all the bars emptied, all the, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and all come out into the street,
Terrible
and people
feeling.
have been drinking.
I'm a claustrophobe.
No, it
okay,
went really,
so
really, really smooth. They were really organized. They were all
Good.
set for anything else like that, and I was glad to hear that.
Smooth.
Smooth sailing after the game.
very nice.
Definitely. So,
We should talk about our
Yes.
legendary Matilda.
yeah, we
being
did
gone.
lose. Yeah, we did lose Matilda this past week.
Matilda
I know.
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
She was,
yes.
she turned 99 last Wednesday. And was playing, I think, that afternoon with a great group of people for her birthday, and passed away on Saturday morning.
I know, and it just
Yes.
didn't, I guess, in her sleep, which is,
Yeah.
I guess, a dream come true for most people, as we
Yeah.
know. So many. This is World Cancer Day, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, is it?
So,
Okay.
on the positive note, she died very peacefully after a long, beautiful life. And there's so many people suffering and struggling with cancer that
I
being
know,
World
that's just
Cancer
it.
Day, it is.
No.
There's no suffering for her.
No, and she
No.
had an amazing, amazing life, and she's left an incredible legacy.
Yes,
definitely.
In 2016, we had Festival 506 here in Miramichi, and I got to witness a really interesting moment, a phenomenal moment. I happened to be on the organizing committee, but she got a Lifetime Achievement Award from Festival 506, and she played on stage with the Miramichi Fiddlers, and there was hundreds of people in the audience, and everybody was just transfixed by
In her 90s.
in her 90s.
Yes.
We
And,
add.
and it was
Yeah.
always amazing to see Matilda play, because it was, you could see her going through her filing cabinet in her brain, right? Because there was no music in front of her. It was always
No.
like,
She's self-taught, by the way.
and yeah, exactly. And it was such a moment to see her on stage at Carrefour Beausoleil here in Miramichi, and to be part of that. Like, it was just, she was
I loved
awesome.
her as a person.
Yeah.
She was endearing and she was humble, and also she's an Order of New Brunswick
Yes.
recipient,
Oh, cool.
Order of Canada.
Yes.
She's a North American Fiddlers Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, the
my
achievements go
goodness.
on and on.
On.
And it's nice that she was able to have those accolades presented while she was alive
right.
and not
Exactly.
posthumously. But it's just such a sad case many times.
Definitely.
Yeah, and many of
definitely.
her children play, instruments and sing, and it's.
Oh, I'm sure she's passed down her
Oh,
talents.
yeah, she's amazing.
We love her
Genetically,
and
for
we'll
sure.
miss her dearly.
Yes.
Definitely,
for sure.
definitely.
Yep.
There's something else going on. Let me see. Kraft is
Yes.
putting on a big contest.
Yeah.
So Kraft Hockeyville. So
Okay.
it's an
I
annual.
think I remember this from last year. Were we
Yep.
nominated last year?
I can't
Or
remember
why
if we
do
had
or if it's the commercial I
Or the year
remember. It was
before.
quite
yeah,
a big
could be.
deal.
But it's an annual competition sponsored by Kraft Foods and the NHL, and communities nominate themselves, and they compete to demonstrate their commitment to the sport of ice hockey and all that. And then there's a prize, of course, and they will renovate one of the arenas. So the one that's going on right now is the Tom Donovan Arena in Renews.
Right.
So they're looking to have that renovated, and it's in honor and in memory of Thomas Dunn, who was a young
player.
young hockey player, young sports figure in the region who died quite tragically last year.
Yes.
So really, the community is rallying around, and we're going to ask our viewers to jump on the website, to vote, to do
Yeah.
whatever it is that they ask you to do.
Yeah. To Kraft Hockeyville.
Yeah, Kraft Hockeyville, and there's
Right.
Thomas Dunn is the one for Renews.
Right.
And really, just to put your support behind the
Get your
initiative.
vote in to get those going.
Exactly. Because if they win, then they get a full
That's right.
renovation
Yeah,
of
that's
that
right.
hockey
So
rink.
it makes a big
They
difference,
need
and especially in honor of a young man who really.
Well, he touched a lot of people.
Yeah,
a
and
lot
I believe
of
he was only
people
14
knew.
at the time.
Yeah.
So
And it's a small community.
It is.
And
That's
my
right.
boys and I, my husband, we've been to so many games over
Oh,
the years where they're
yes.
both kids in hockey.
Exactly.
And they need it. And so it's like we're in a Miramichi area that does a lot of fundraising for various
Yes.
causes,
Yeah.
but they're a little bit out of the way. So for
Right.
them to get that support financially is really
Exactly. And when you're talking
crucial.
a renovation of a rink, it's not cheap.
no.
No. And
So let's go vote.
for them to be able to nominate themselves and for us, the community of Miramichi, to rally around them.
Exactly.
Put in our vote as well and
Yeah.
get them in the top 5 or top 3 or whatever it
Yeah.
is that
they have
we
to hit
need
the
to.
top 4 by
Okay.
February 10th.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah,
February
by
the
February 10th.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure everybody across the province, anybody that's watching the show anywhere,
Yes.
you can
Vote.
vote.
Yeah.
But yeah, by February 10th, we want to make sure that they get there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we look forward to being able to do that for them, and hopefully, we have a positive result from
Exactly.
all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You seen a movie recently? What
I
what
went
did
to
you
the
go see that one?
Upside.
Okay,
I have
so
to see Green Book because I heard that is a 10 out of 10. Now that's just what I'm hearing, but I didn't go to that one. I went to
Okay.
the Upside starring Bryan Cranston,
Right.
Nicole Kidman,
Yes.
and Kevin Hart.
Right.
Kevin
Right.
Hart's hilarious.
Yes,
I
he
mean,
is.
oh my god,
He is.
He
He is.
kills me. And Nicole
Yeah.
Kidman, well, she's stellar.
She's-
She can act any part,
Any
and
role.
look any part.
Yeah, I was
She's-
surprised that she was in that at first. I went, oh,
Yes.
she's in that.
She's
Okay.
in a lot.
Yeah, she is in a lot
But
of
Bryan
movies.
Cranston is in the wheelchair, so
Right.
I'll tell you no more, except that it's based on a true story, and he's looking for an assistant to help him through his daily
Okay.
everything
Daily
he has
routines,
to
his
do.
daily.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
exactly.
a well done, it's comedic, it's also heartwarming. You'll find yourself laughing out loud and you'll find yourself tearing up, and it's a heartwarming go to it.
I saw the trailer and I'm
I love
looking
it.
forward to seeing that movie. Okay, definitely.
Cool.
Check that out. Well, what's up with you?
Yeah, what's up, girl? Tell us what's new.
Not much. I'm just
No.
hanging out, being cool.
Cool's a word.
Well, you know. No, I think, you know what? I think we're also excited about Special Olympics are coming
I
up.
can't wait.
Yes.
You know, and it was overwhelming. I know I was talking to Patty Quinn a little bit earlier today, and we were talking about the amount of volunteers that came forward. They needed something like 80 volunteers, and they tripled that number.
They have too many
Yeah,
now.
they
do.
have too
They do.
many. Yeah.
So, but we most certainly need to have people come out and watch the events as well.
That's right.
I'm making my
Yes.
pom-poms now, my
Yes.
cheerleading
Yes.
outfit
Yes.
from grade
Yeah.
12. I'm going to resurrect it somehow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So we'll
no,
go out and-
Brody actually came home with the other day from practice. He come home with a jacket and the splash pants, like an outfit to wear, you know,
Oh,
so
yes,
that they're
okay.
all dressed the same. Like, you know what I mean? It
Aw,
says
the team,
Miramichi
yeah.
What
Special
color?
Olympics. They're black with
I like
red.
black.
Nice.
And it
yeah.
has his
Red.
name on the sleeve
Nice.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
It's a big
he's
event.
really excited about being a part of this big team and this big
Isn't
event
that
that's
wonderful?
happening here
Well,
in
I'll
Miramichi.
be the floor hockey woman because that's my interest.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'll go to more, but I've never been to. I don't snowshoe, but I'll still go watch. But it's
Yeah.
not exciting for me. But I really love floor hockey.
No.
Yeah, well, it's quite competitive.
It is.
It is.
And they get right
and
into it.
they themselves are quite
Yes,
competitive.
they are. Yes, they are.
I
And
will
I
show
know
you
that I
the
know that
interest.
we did the show about it a couple weeks ago, and,
Yeah.
and you know, it's just so exciting, and like it we really need to get out there. And
It's
and,
huge
you
for the
know,
Miramichi.
Yes,
We've never
and
hosted those
it's a
before.
wonderful event to have here, and
Yeah.
we're really lucky. And really, we want to support the athletes because
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
you know, they're working so hard.
They
and-
are. They count on us.
Exactly.
No, exactly. That's just it. Also coming up we've got January in.
Ah, yay.
Oh, Groundhog Day.
Goodbye. Oh,
Groundhog Day was on
round-
the weekend.
It
6 more
was.
weeks of this.
Yes. No, well, early spring. The 2 groundhog episodes that I saw, we're going to have an early spring.
I saw one of one. And
Oh,
one of the
okay. Don't
other.
tell me about it.
I
don't wanna
saw
know.
6 weeks.
The Canadian Shubenacadie Sam said that we were having like a long.
Oh, no,
winter.
no. No, I
And-
saw 2 that said no. No.
And then
early spring.
the one in the States, or what's he? Puxatawny Phil said we were having a.
Say that again?
No,
There was one in Nova Scotia. What's his name?
that's
The fella?
Shubenacadie Sam.
No. There's another one. There was a Canadian one that
Well,
said,
anyway,
I'm
we hope
sticking
he's
with
wrong.
6.
Let's
yes.
go with the early
definitely.
spring.
No, definitely.
Oh, I
That's just
can't-
it. We're heading into February, so,
So
this
Valentine's
Valentine's
Day.
Day is around the corner, and don't we have a family day? Isn't
yeah.
there a long weekend that comes up in February now?
I think that's the 18th.
I'm actually looking
Yeah,
forward
you
to a long
are.
weekend in February.
Looking for a break.
I don't get
No.
that.
I'm not excited about Valentine's Day anymore. I don't do that
No.
after 34 years, you know. I mean, dinner's nice, but I don't get all dressed up and expect candlelight and wine and all that
No.
stuff. No, I don't.
Because that happens.
Every night. It's just a
Exactly.
you know.
La la la
again,
la la la.
For me, believe it
My
or not,
uncle. La 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 la.
for me, believe it or not, it was more for the kids. I used to do
Yeah?
quite, yes, I know. I know.
husband, look at
I
him.
know, but
Judy and I are both. Oh,
to me,
yeah.
Valentine's Day is all different kinds of loves.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Right?
see, I am not
I
a fan
didn't-
of Valentine's Day.
No, I
I
don't
have
think it should be
never
just
been.
for couples.
No,
It puts too much pressure
Well,
on
that's what I
people.
like, and I, you know, for in my younger years, I always had lovely boyfriends over Valentine's Day.
I met
But
some of them. They weren't all lovely.
They weren't all lovely. You're right. Thank God some of them are over.
I'm joking.
But I was never a fan of Valentine's Day because it was so much pressure. And whoever I was dating always felt like they had to do so much, whereas I don't.
You didn't need the
care. I
celebration.
don't
A
care.
movie's nice. Go to a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Do something.
And I
Just-
usually ended up getting into an argument with them, and you know, it was
That's
never,
fun.
it was never good.
That's
It was
always
never
fun.
good. And now, of course,
Oh.
I've been single for so long, I just don't even remember what Valentine's Day was like. But anyway, it's
The
all
older
good.
you
Oh,
get,
for
the
goodness
more
sakes.
your interests change. I find the more you
True.
change.
You
Obviously.
don't hold as much value in it.
in a lot of things.
You know what I mean?
in a lot of things.
I mean, it doesn't have to be on that special day that you express or celebrate.
Yeah.
You know, your
It's
love.
the same as New Year's Eve. Like I'm past that of having to go out and get my hat on and my party, mode on and have, and no, but you know what I'm saying? Go to a big dance and woo! Because I'm just feeling blessed within that we've celebrated another year, 2018.
right.
There were ups and downs, but I don't need the hoopla
No,
anymore.
no, no,
so I
no.
guess I am getting old. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
No,
No, not
You're not
at all.
getting old.
No, you're not getting old.
We're not-
Definitely not.
we're not allowing. Yeah. But it's
No.
funny. Somebody said to me yesterday, "Oh, don't get old." I said, "Well, I prefer that to the alternative."
I know. That's true. And I've been to a lot of wakes and funerals lately, but
Yeah.
that's
Well, there is
part of
something else.
life.
Before we go to break and bring on our great guests and have our great show, I wanted to mention to you and get some advice from you too.
Okay.
I was recently asked to MC at the Animal Shelter Gala.
Oh,
when is
exciting.
that?
That's happening this month, I believe, the 26th of
Oh,
February.
exciting.
I
near the
think
end.
I'll be here.
So I'm going to have to tap into you guys for some
No, it's
advice
wonderful,
on how
Audrey.
to take care of all of that, because you guys have the expertise in that.
Do you know where it is?
So yeah,
or-
we're going to be at the Rod Hotel.
Okay.
So we'll have more details on that to let everybody know.
That's
But we have a
beautiful.
great show lined up for our guests, our viewers,
Okay.
and we'll be right back after the break. Don't go away. Good afternoon. We're back with more Have a Chat. Joining us now is our first guest, Jimmy McKinley. Good afternoon, Jimmy.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hello, Jim.
Hi.
Like he just
Oh,
made-
Judy's starting already.
I'm nervous. I'm on the set of Bingo right now. So I just can't believe my mother's home just watching TV with a bingo dabber right now,
I
just
hope
waiting
she
for
wins.
Bingo.
There you
I
go.
hope she wins.
Well, she never wins, but
You're
all her
interrupting.
sisters do. She's always jealous,
Well,
so it's
there
always
you
good.
go.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
For any of our viewers who don't know who Jimmy is,
Yeah.
Give
I'm
us
sure
the
that's
lowdown.
everyone.
give
That's
us a
everyone
lowdown.
except
Who
my
are-
mother and father watching right now. Born and raised in Miramichi
Right.
my whole life, Newcastle boy. I went to university in, yeah, I did.
Oh my
I,
God.
believe it or not, I have an
That's
education. Yeah,
amazing.
I decided not to use that education and go into performance arts. But yeah,
peasy.
yeah, exactly. I picked the hardest career to do. I could have went into medicine, but decided not to, Dad. No,
So proud.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. He wanted me to go into welding as well. But no, I went to university, studied science there, and did some teaching after that, and worked in tech. And now I'm a comedian, and I try to be anyway.
I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
Far turn.
Yeah,
I feel like you just jumped over a
It's-
section of that story.
it's yeah. I
how'd
left
you get
out
from
8
tech?
years where I was in prison. No, I'm kidding.
From tech to,
Yes. How does that
Well,
happen?
I needed a job because I couldn't make a lot of money. You don't make a lot of money in comedy or the performance arts, believe it or not, for many, many
shocked.
years of doing free jokes. So I would travel to St. John to test out material.
Yeah.
And then eventually I found jokes that worked after many years. And then you just sort of string them together and
Build it up.
hopefully, yeah, sort of market yourself. and hopefully people will hire you and invite you on their television programs.
Okay, so did you one day wake up and say, this is what I want to do, I'm going to quit my job today?
No, I've always been. No, they fired me.
Okay.
No,
So that's how we got there.
yeah, they asked me to leave politely. And gave me a little box of nothing was in it. But no, I guess I was always interested in. I was always obsessed with movies, and yeah, I always wanted to sort of perform, be an actor. I've never done theater or stage. I was always too shy and nervous as a kid. So then I
That
just.
surprises me,
yeah.
that part of it, that he didn't do that.
But
Very
no, but
yeah.
Robin Williams was like that. Robin
Really?
Williams was.
I'm kind of shy. I'm
Quite
sweating right now. I'm wearing 3 layers of wool, but
looks so
yeah,
good,
I've
who
lost
cares,
10
right?
pounds since
Talk
this
about clothing
program
choices
started.
after.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing any pants right now. Either, so, yeah.
But the
Thank God
boxers
this
are
desk is
nice.
here.
The boxers are nice.
They
Thank
match
you very
your
much.
shirt.
I
They're
like
my
them.
father's. Thank you.
His fathers.
So no,
Were you out at parties or with your friends, and they were
In
like, "Oh, you're so funny. You should
in-
do stand-up."
Yes, yeah. So in smaller groups, or be an actor, be a you should try out for Saturday Night Live. And it's like, does anyone have the number for Saturday Night Live? It's like his dad, Lorne Michaels. My dad's also name is Lauren, so we have an in there, I guess. Yeah, that's my only in, by the way. No talent, just the same father's first name. But a friend of mine actually started an open mic in Fredericton, New
okay.
Brunswick, and my buddy Corey and Lloyd. So I started to just do once a monthers there. That was all that was available. And I would
Okay.
go to St. John as well because they have some more opportunities down there for open mics. People host comedy. So yeah, I would go down there and burn a lot of gas. And I have named every single moose on the highway as well.
Yeah.
So,
There'd be a lot of names there.
yeah, when you're
good
yeah,
friends.
yeah, Calvin and yeah,
You
Melvin.
ran out of names,
yeah,
I bet.
Exactly. Yeah, they're always Vin, Calvin, Melvin. I don't know why, but moose are large animals, by the way.
are.
I'm
Yeah,
terrified of them.
Yeah, me
They're
too.
larger than some of the
Terrified
small
of
little
them.
cars
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, for
driving
sure.
around.
No, it's crazy. I saw one coming back from St. John the other night, and it was like the prototypical male. Like if you were going to paint a moose, it would be this moose that you were
No,
going to
no.
paint. Yeah.
My nerves are shot when I'm on the road at night. Were you the class clown, Jimmy?
I was not the class clown. No,
Oh.
no.
Oh,
There was a
okay.
kid named Malcolm. He was the class clown. Do you guys know him?
I love
Yeah.
how you can
He
name
was
them.
also your class clown. He still has to graduate high school.
But I would think that that's the nature of the personality would be to be a funny guy in class, the teacher saying, Jimmy, behave yourself. No.
No, it was more Jimmy, what did I just say? And I was daydreaming too much, or like
Okay.
looking at a squirrel
Yeah.
on a tree. And there wasn't even a window, but I was
Do you believe that being funny
Inside
is
the
genetic?
building.
I think being funny is genetic.
Yeah.
I do.
think
yeah,
so.
yeah. My
Like
father has a
somewhat.
really good sense of humor. His brother, Bobby, is hilarious.
Okay.
My uncle Bobby. So,
It's instilled kind of
but I
in
did.
him.
They grew up in. I grew up here, and my uncle was in Nova Scotia. So there must be some sort of genetic link to it.
You have to be quick, you have to be
Yeah,
witty, and
and
you have
I think
to.
my parents are fourth cousins too, so that gives me a lot of material. I shouldn't have said that. We can edit that out, right?
Yeah.
You can just
Yes,
beep
we
out
can
5
always
minutes
leave
of my
them.
interview.
Yeah.
Yes, live TV
Not a
has lots
problem.
of beeping
Just
opportunities.
put a clip of Adam Lorden in for 5 minutes when I say that, and then
Yes.
cut back to me. Yeah.
So did you take any courses or classes to try and fine-tune your comedic art, or is it all?
Not really. I've taken some acting for film classes.
Okay.
But other than that, I just sort of just practice basically. Just
Because you're
making
writing your own
mistakes.
material.
I am writing my own material. Sometimes my dad will text me while I'm driving on the dangerous highways, and
Okay.
it'll just say, and I don't, if there's any police officers watching, anyway, I pull over and read the text, and it'll just say, hey, I got another one for your little skits, and
Nice.
yeah, he thinks I'm a magician, I think, so.
Parents
I
say.
don't really do skits, Dad, but
Okay, so where
I
do
appreciate the jokes.
Let's go with some of your material and where you get your material. So you'll see something maybe
Yeah.
when you're driving by that. How do you get your ideas?
Yeah, I think comedians just look at things from 10 different perspectives. They just overanalyze, they're super aware of things. Having said that, I
Life
forgot to wear pants.
experiences,
but-
probably.
But the boxers are great.
Yeah, I know. But
Some life experiences, I would imagine.
life experiences, I pull a lot from my family.
Mm-hmm.
Experiences in school, at work, like office jobs. I've worked a lot of office jobs. So you just, I guess, look at things and you just sort of put things on the back burner and you take the things off the back burner and put them in the front burner. And I was doing a lot of cooking. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm like,
yes, I heard you were
There's no metaphors here. I'm actually talking about cooking stovetop stuffing. So I lived off.
my favorite.
Yeah, does it? Yeah. Which flavor? Yeah.
I think
turkey
it's
for
a
me.
hard thing
It
to do
is.
stand-up comedy. I've
Yeah.
done theater and different
it's
things
very
where
difficult, yeah.
you have that audience that aren't playing back with you, and it's so dreadful.
Well, that's what do you do when
Well, that's
you
the
have a
thing.
big line that
Well, you
you think
learn-
is going to pull something?
You learn that there's different types of shows, so you always want to be in an environment where people are coming to see you. So if, and let me explain. So
You're
if
sober.
yeah,
That helps.
yeah.
When they're
No,
not
Yeah, 2 o'clock in the afternoon crowd. That's, I did a show, like a corporate gig. You'll do these corporate Christmas shows. I did a 1 o'clock in the afternoon
no.
for the Department of Transportation
Oh,
in
wow.
Fredericton. It was there. I was very lucky to get the gig. They were super nice, but I show up and everyone's just carving pumpkins.
And having
it wasn't
tea.
even October, so I'm not sure why they were. It was like it's
Pumpkin
out of,
spice tea?
It's out of season, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was interesting. The setting has to be, it's all psychological as well. So as long as you can see the comedian and hear the comedian, I know it sounds like common sense, but a lot of those elements really help. When you get there and there's no spotlight and the sound equipment doesn't work, you have to make a microphone out of things from your car. That's always difficult because the mechanics of stand-up comedy are very difficult, even when everything's perfect. You have to know your audience, and there's different types of audiences.
Of course
That's
there
right.
are.
So you would research that somewhat when
I
you're
would.
going to do a
Sometimes
gig.
I just walk into a room and I just want to melt and evaporate through a vent because I just know what type of show it's going to be. But I'm also lucky to, like, I'm hired for, I've never been this busy before
It's wonderful.
in my life. Yeah. And I've never done manual labor because my hands are silky smooth.
Yes,
So
we
what-
shook hands. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it.
Well, I was just thinking whether
Thank you, Judy.
whether you make someone laugh or not, you still get paid. So
Uh,
that's a good thing.
Sometimes I get paid. The first time I was ever paid, I was paid in Fiddleheads.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was great. It was in, I think it was in Moncton, New Brunswick. Now I get paid in Canadian money, which is good.
Very,
Yes.
very helpful.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't tell CRA. I'm just kidding. Edit that. I'm kidding. No, but the guy handed me this bag of Fiddleheads, and I said, why didn't you just give me the money that you paid for the
paid for the
Fiddleheads? He's like,
Fiddleheads.
well, I already got the heads.
And
And he
I
said,
hope you
just
like
put.
them.
I think I'm allergic to them. He's like, put them in butter and salt and vinegar. I said, you put anything in butter and salt and vinegar. I would eat this piece of paper right now and the mug if it was dipped in
yeah.
vinegar.
What do you do on that occasion when the joke doesn't land the way you expected it to?
everyone
Well,
just looks at you.
Yeah, usually. Luckily, I've only had a few hecklers in my life. One of which was my mother.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And I'll tell you the story.
and did you plant her?
The guy
Did you
doing the
plant her?
sound is rolling on the floor right
That's
now.
really rotten, though. Why would
Yeah,
you-
no, it was she came. It was my first gig with Yuck Yucks comedy
Yes.
chain in Halifax. It was a few years ago, and I was excited to get it. We do 3 shows, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I was the middle act, so I was supposed to do 20 minutes. So the first night I did my 20-minute act in 11 minutes because I
Oh,
was so nervous
Yeah.
that
Oh,
I was
yes.
talking too fast, and I'm like, oh, I must have forgotten all my jokes, and I was like, nope, said them all, just said them all really fast.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
And so and then Friday night I did a little bit better, and then Saturday night Mom and Dad drive down. They were going to surprise me, but then my dad's calling me. I could hear the highway. He's like,
And the moose calls?
yeah, I could
Yeah.
hear there was a moose in the car with
Yeah,
them.
Melvin.
Yeah,
Melvin
I
was,
think they might have been riding a moose actually to Halifax.
Halifax.
And they said, Jim, what's the number for the Western Hotel? So I knew they were coming. They valeted the Kia, and so it was hilarious. And so I'm up there, and I wanted to introduce the crowd, my parents to the crowd. So I said, my parents came down to surprise me, and they're finally going to see what a 4-year degree paid for. And then my mother, without skipping a beat, stands up and she says, 5.5-year degree.
Oh, dear, dear.
Oh.
Yeah.
She stood right up. She stood right
Let me
up.
explain, because
she
it took
threw
me.
you under the bus.
Yeah, I didn't do so well my second and third year. Switched my majors, and it ended up taking me. I think I'm still in university actually. At
Yeah.
UNB. I gotta check
You're
into
still
that.
waiting for
Yeah,
the diploma
yeah.
in the mail.
Not making the dean's list this year. No.
Moms keep us humble.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Well,
how
she
do you
does.
not cross the fine line of offending people? Have you done that and have had to apologize?
Sure. I mean, you want to, as a comedian, you always want to speak a little bit of truth, and
course.
every time, sometimes the reaction is going to be laughter, and sometimes it's going to be a gasp.
I know.
But
Yeah.
even that can be, that's still your job. I'm not in the business of purposely going and being hurtful
No,
to anyone.
no,
And
no.
there is some topics that I will avoid, even if something you know,
Pops in your
pops
head.
in your head, and you're just like laying in bed at night, and you're like, wow, I wish I never thought of that. But I'll tell you the joke later after we wrap up.
Tell us a good joke now?
It'll be on the
Tell us.
blooper reel on YouTube later. But yeah, I mean, I try to tackle. I don't do a lot of political stuff
You
because I
don't,
don't really
okay.
follow that or football.
Okay.
I didn't even know the game was
was
on
on
last
this
night.
thing?
Yeah.
It was on.
I was
Yes.
forced to play every sport as a child, but I never really
Wasn't
enjoyed
your
doing
thing.
that. No,
No.
no. I would
Well-
wake up for hockey practice, and my father would be putting the equipment on me, and then drive me to the. You're gonna be a hockey player. Yeah.
You'd have
Yeah.
a comic book.
You're
in
gonna be
your
a,
hand.
a hockey player, welder, doctor. And I
No,
said, I'll
would
show
find
you.
Comedians actually have, they have a little more leeway when it comes to what they're allowed to say or poke fun at or
Sure.
different things like that. So you can actually push the barriers a little bit
We
further.
can. It
than-
depends on the show, Audrey. Like if you're doing a corporate gig, you want to be super clean. You know, super
Yeah.
clean, and because you just never know. They're hiring you.
That's right.
They're
Right.
usually paying you a little bit more money than you make in a club. So you want
Right.
to be respectful of their company and
Yes.
people. You don't even know who's working for this company sometimes. So it's yeah, you try to be as respectful as possible, but you try to sort of push envelopes when you can.
Yes.
So you said you've never been busier. What do you have coming up?
Oh, I just made that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing.
yeah.
I'm just hanging out at home.
I do all the shows at the kitchen table.
Oh, good.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I
your
do-
mother and father.
Yeah, so I'm performing at the Hubcap Comedy Festival in Moncton next week, or this week, on the 8th, whenever the 8th is.
That's this week.
Yeah.
of February, I
Yes.
believe, of this year. And isn't it good to be done January as well?
Oh, it is.
It was
Longest
the longest
year ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other day I was like, are there 80 or 81 days of January?
Yeah.
I'll be at the
It was a
Hubcap
lot.
Comedy Festival at Hell's Basement Comedy Club on February 8th at 10:30.
Cool.
Riverside Casino, James
Oh,
M.
yes.
Hill
Yes.
fundraiser. I graduated from Miramichi Valley. You guys have treated me very, very well.
Yes.
And have, yeah,
They're
treated,
respectable.
exactly. I love
Yay,
them.
Tommy's. Sorry.
Vogue Theater, save it for after.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
I get it in there
Yeah,
whenever I can.
this isn't water, people. Yeah.
No.
It
He's like,
is.
you want some water? And he was winking at me. I was
Yeah.
like, do you have
Well,
citrus
see,
or is
now
it vodka?
you're
yeah.
in on the secret.
Yeah.
You know why our show's so
Water.
good.
February 16th, I'm at the Vogue Theater. Vogue Theater. I grew up going to the Vogue, so it's a dream come true actually getting to do my own show there. And it's weird. My dad will still be dropping me off, though. I used to grow up going there. Yeah. He doesn't really stop in Chatham, though. He just like slows
Yeah.
the car
Slows
down and I
down.
roll
And you
out.
yeah, stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, so Riverside Entertainment Center, February 9th, February 16th, Vogue Theater. And then there's one thing I do want to mention that's really important to me. A friend of mine's not really feeling all that well now, Mr. Dave Gillum. And so we're doing there's a benefit for him at the Vogue Theater, again, on February 15th
It'll be
to
packed.
support, yes, that's
Yeah.
what that's what I'm going to, for sure. It's definitely
So that's
gonna
a
be
show
packed.
that you're putting on as well? or
That's
is there
I'm
other
going to be
things?
making an appearance at the show and helping out.
Okay.
And
There's
so
other entertainment there as well.
there is,
that
I
night?
believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
much
I'm not
fun.
sure of the entertainment. There might be some jugglers or
Yeah.
a
Us
bear.
dancing.
Music.
Yeah.
Have a
Music,
check out
yeah,
Yeah, they're going to
dancing.
bring a moose in as well.
Yes,
That's right.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
cool.
We'll be shaking ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's going to be a great. Definitely check that out. It's going to be really entertaining. It's going to be a lot of fun, and for a great cause as
Yes.
well. So yeah.
I have a burning question.
It's not a math question, is
No,
it?
yes, it is
Is it a
actually.
square root?
If
I
you
don't do
took
square
a
roots.
football field and divided, I'm just joking. Your top
Wait,
comedians that you love, it would be Jerry Seinfeld, George Carlin. Who
Sure.
have you admired? Maybe top three in your
Sure.
lifetime.
Yeah, George Carlin for sure. Big influence for me. The first stand-up I ever saw was Richard Pryor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a VHS tape. My
Okay,
friend
yeah,
Are
Jesse.
you old enough to know?
Hilarious.
No, I'm not. But it was, well, these things are documented.
There is such a thing as
There's
a
the
tape.
internet now.
Someone gave me one of my best friends,
Pryor.
Jesse, as a kid, gave me a VHS tape of Richard Pryor and Eddie
Wow.
Murphy Delirious.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
my
hilarious.
man.
But you mentioned Kevin
Yeah.
Hart. I love Kevin Hart. He's a very different kind of comedian.
I think he's
Yeah.
great. I love him.
he's great.
Seinfeld, you're not big on?
No, I love Seinfeld.
You do too.
Yeah.
He's probably
I'm
the
going to name
top
50
paid.
comedians right now,
Would
even
he
though you
not
only
be the
want three.
highest paid comedian probably right now, Seinfeld?
He is the highest paid person ever.
I think, yeah.
No,
yeah,
Robin Williams has to be
Oh,
my,
he was fantastic.
my top.
Robin
Find
Williams
him
was phenomenal. There's no one like
hilarious,
him.
Like
absolutely
Amy
hilarious.
Schumer?
Amy Schumer, love Amy Schumer,
The
and
females are making a real scene out there too.
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of even local female comedians that I do a lot of shows with
Good.
that have been really making an impact in the New Brunswick scene in Nova Scotia as well. Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's just it.
Nothing like making people laugh. It's a language. It's a universal thing, right?
addictive.
Laughter's medicine, but laughing is a universal thing
Yeah,
because everybody laughs.
It's involuntary, so you know if something is is ringing true for your audience. You know, even if it's causing a little bit of a reaction gasp-wise, you just know that like, oh, well, that one worked, because laughter, you can't fake a laugh. There's nothing. You know, or like a fake Jostens class picture smile. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know?
No, you can tell.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
if we wanted to hire you, Jimmy, how do we get a hold
Yes.
of you?
Yeah, you can go to jimmymckinley.com. It's currently under construction right now, but I'm yeah, exactly. Very visible on Facebook,
Okay.
Twitter, Instagram. Just send me a text. We'll put my number on the bottom of the screen. No, we won't. But yeah, Jimmy McKinley on Facebook, and
it? Okay.
I'm very easy to hire.
It'd be great
Perfect.
to book for
Definitely.
events. Here, and it's so good
It
to
would
have that
be.
kind of entertainment
Yeah,
available.
exactly.
For sure, yeah.
That's just it. Well, thank you so
so
much,
much
Jimmy, for
fun.
joining
Thank you
us
so
today.
much for having me, guys.
Hope we can have you back again
Yeah.
and keep us, up
Keep
to
us
date on your
laughing.
career and how you're making out.
Sure, and if you need a host for bingo, I'm available. So,
Bingo.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't believe I'm here. No.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a
It's
dream
very
come
sweet of
true.
you having me.
We'll
Keep
be
on
back
laughing.
with more Have a Chat after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Have a Chat. Joining us now is our next guest, Dylan Ryan, who is here, a local musician here in Miramichi, and the lead singer of the band, Dylan Ryan and the Dream Romantic. Hello, Dylan. How are you?
I'm great. How are you all?
Welcome. So excited to have a musician on our set
Yeah.
today.
I'm excited.
We are.
Really cool to be doing this.
And he writes his own music.
And he
Ah.
writes his
How
own
about
music.
that, eh?
Yeah. So we're going to start off this portion of the show with you singing, actually, and playing your song, "River of Past Reflection."
Yeah.
Which
So
I
give us-
just happen to love.
Okay.
I saw
Fire away.
you down on the ground by the river of past reflection. It can fill your heart with so much fear. It echoes in the distance from an old and different place. Reflections keep resisting in event of a grand mistake. Mirrors with no reflection, another savior from the pain. Stories with no ending, nothing lost, nothing gained. 'Cause if we meet today, I'll tell you words that I never did say. And if it's all a dream, I'm looking back and I'm making future now. I saw you down on the ground by the river of past reflection. It can fill your heart with so much fear, screaming for attention like a hound without its own, living in a reverb, separate from the unknown. Deep in the grey wide open comes a bittersweet memory, joyful division of a setting time, the themes of you and I. 'Cause if we meet today, I'll tell you words that I never did say. And if it's all a dream, I'm looking back and I'm making future now. saw you down on the ground by the river of past reflection. It can fill your heart with so much fear. I saw you down on the ground by the river of past reflection. The water sings so softly in your ear. When I saw you down on the ground by the river of past reflection, it can fill your heart with so much fear. I saw you down on the ground by the river of past reflection. The water sings so softly in your ear. My past life, precious tear.
Gosh,
Wow.
I love it. Love it, love it.
That was fantastic.
I'm
It
so
was.
honored to hear that in real life
I
because I've
know.
heard it on recording and now you're here in our studio and it just gave me
It was.
goosebumps.
It's a little bit-
That's what I was going to say. Goosebumps is what I have
Thank
too.
you so much.
Dylan,
Yeah.
oh, your voice. How can you explain that rise and fall of your voice? Like, not everybody. I know James Blunt. I've heard and seen in person, but it's a real unique
You back your water.
musical ability to have the rise and fall. I don't know what you call that in music. I'm not a lyricist or a singer.
Well, a crescendo and different things
Crescendo,
like
you've
that.
got it.
But no, one of my biggest idols ever and like very much a mentor for me as a singer is David Bowie.
Oh,
like
for sure.
huge
Oh,
fan.
yes.
Like and like when he died a few years ago, I was absolutely crushed
Destroyed.
because he was a bit of a hero growing up and learning how to sing and play
Yes.
guitar. And
Yeah, so tell us a
model.
little bit about yourself because we jumped right into your music, of
Yeah.
course. We wanted everybody to have a taste
Bravo.
of that. But tell us a little bit about who you are first.
Yeah, I'm 27 years old. I grew up in Miramichi my whole life. I've been playing music since a very early age. I started playing in bands around 13 years old, and pretty much immediately after high school, I started like taking it a bit more serious and like on a professional level. And you know, I was always working a lot of different jobs to kind of supplement the income of that, but. Just in the last year and a half or so, I've kind of gotten to the point where it's pretty much like my full career. Like,
Oh, nice.
aside from my own band, I play in a lot of different bands. Like in Miramichi, I play in another band called After Serve. I also play with Sonny Newman. And anyone that wants to hire me, it's like I can be like a hired musician as well. So
Beautiful.
I've kind of made it so that I've surrounded myself with as many musical things so I can kind of make it a career. Like I teach music lessons as well.
Do?
Yeah.
Well, that's good
So
to know. because
everything and
people-
anything that you can do within the music industry, you're trying to take it on to get as much as you can out of it.
Absolutely, because yeah, I just love the medium of music, and even if it's not necessarily performing, whether it's teaching someone else how to play guitar or drums, or whether it's helping another band with the making of their record, just kind of being like a production ear,
Yes.
like I'm very into that idea as well.
Are you self-taught as a singer and instrumentalist?
As a singer, I'm 100% self-taught. Same with drums. I had one guitar lesson when I was younger, but everything else, I learned the very basics from the great Norman Leroux, rest in
Oh,
peace.
rest in
Yeah.
peace
Yeah.
is right.
Yeah.
He's
Phenomenal
one of the
man.
best guitarists to ever come out of New Brunswick. But yeah, I got one basic lesson from him. Then I just kind of decided I wanted to take it on my own.
Keep going.
Yeah.
So what was it when you turned 13? Did you get a guitar for a gift or what
Well-
did you pick up and start doing?
Well, I mean, there was always guitars around the house. There was an acoustic, and
Oh, really? Okay.
and you know, I had an electric prior to being 13, but I remember it was either in grade 8 or 9. There was a couple people in music class that they knew how to play a little bit, and I was just like, well, I want to do that. So it sort of became this kind of like everyday ritual. Just I got to play at least 3 hours, and I would just sit there and just
That's a big
Just-
commitment. 3
yeah,
hours.
and it was really like that for quite a few years because still to this day, it's like I just want to be better and better and better at the craft of playing guitar, writing songs, being a better singer. Like, there's never a point, I think, where you say, "Oh, well, that's good enough."
No.
Because I think that's the end, really. If you're
It's true. If you stop that desire to go further with all of your abilities.
because I think in 30 years' time, I'll still be like, "Well, I want to learn this on guitar. I want to do that." You know.
Amazing.
So you write your own songs,
Yes.
obviously. When did that start? And where do you get? And we asked Jimmy the same question. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Well, I started writing like my own songs for this project when I started it in 2013. But like I was a co-writer in different bands before that. But really, the inspiration comes. You can't force a song. That's one thing. I'll give an example. Like yesterday, I was coming back to Miramichi on the train from Moncton, and I was just sitting in the Wi-Fi car with my acoustic, and I started writing a song. I think inspiration, it has to find you working, but it also comes when you're a bit absent-minded.
Okay.
So it's like you're sort of channeling inspiration, and I find I write a lot in the winter time too.
Oh yeah. Because there's not much going on.
No, and I think the winter is like a really good opportunity to write and record, and because it like the weather conditions, it's not very good for traveling. So
You
I
have
do
more
most.
You have a little more time to reflect and be
Yeah.
have your mind be calm.
Yeah.
I'd like
I
that.
think the hardest aspect of it all, personally for me, if I was to be so talented, would be to have the song down because I'm pretty good. I can write poetry and different things. I'm pretty good at that, I will say. But it's to get the music to go with it
With
that
it,
I
yeah.
would find so
You can
terribly
put the words on the
challenging.
paper, but how do
And
you?
if you don't get that beat and backup music to go with the song, well, how do tell
Because
us
that's
about
the
it.
other thing, the writing of the music to go with the lyrics.
'Cause
Well,
that was beautiful.
Well, I think that like for writing a song, I really like to write on acoustic or a piano because I think that like if it's a great song, you should be able to play it on just a guitar or
Okay,
just
yeah.
a piano, and you don't necessarily need like a full band behind it. So it's like I think that a song has to be really good at its core before you start
On
adding
its
in
own.
all the other instruments
Right.
in. Yeah.
But that's a big process, isn't it? To get
Yeah.
to exactly, like when you just played us an incredible number. But how long would it have taken you to perfect that? From
Well-
beginning to end to have it where you want it to be?
I'll give you an example. That song in particular, I came in with a demo of it in 2016, and I've been working with a Halifax-based producer, John Mullane. He plays in a band called In Flight Safety. We've been working on a record together, and I brought that in late 2016, and we just kind of kept changing little bits and and like.
Tweaking?
Yeah, and it's just like I felt like there was a big difference in even how I was singing it in those 2 years because, like, the more you play a song live, you kind of reveals more things about like the meaning of it to you and how you want to present it. So, I don't advise anyone to just write a song then put it out the next day. I really think. Well, some people do, and I mean, like, for me, it's very much a craft. It's not just. Oh, we went in the studio and we banged it out. It's like I like the journey of writing and recording a song.
Do you like are you geared towards certain themes, like love themes?
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Love
yeah.
themes?
Yeah,
You must be in love, are you, Dylan?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that helps.
Yeah.
It does help.
No, but it's like that's a big narrative in my music, kind of love, romance, and just kind of not even necessarily like I do focus on like romance between people, but also just in life in general and like
Yes.
the ups and downs and how people like when they romanticize romance, it's usually talking about the ups, but I think true romance is being able to love the ups and the downs of everything.
That's a really good point, and it's true.
Yeah.
It
Wow,
is,
that's
definitely.
so exciting.
So what's the future? Now you've got this. You've been tweaking this particular song. You're recording a record.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of the winter recording a record at Canvasland Studios in Halifax, and yeah, just trying to get that done sometime this year, and like probably closer to the summer, we'll start doing more touring dates and announcing some festivals and whatnot. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your band at all? Because you
Abs-
currently have how many in your band?
There's 4 of us. Yeah, I have an incredible band. They're all from Moncton. They're all very kind of veteran musicians that have been doing it a long time and extremely amazing at what they do. Julie Doucette on keyboards, one of the best musicians I've played with in my life.
Nice.
She adds so much to the band. Our bassist, David Gregory, incredible guy. He knows a lot of the references that like I draw from, and our drummer, Alec Victor, still, like I played with some incredible drummers in my life, but like it's just amazing.
It's my favorite instrument.
Yeah.
Love the drums.
Yeah, yeah. I have no skill in playing any instrument, so I'm amazed by anyone who can master it.
Well, I'm amazed by Dylan because I watched you grow up since you were 5 years old with my
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
And who knows that these kids in elementary school are going to turn out to be these incredible musicians and gifted artists that they are today. And it makes me proud to watch you grow from that little guy to a star.
Well, when I think about it, it's like I think about in middle school, like when I was starting to get really seriously interested in music, like I wasn't thinking about like what other people were doing, but now that I look back at it and I'm just like, wow, some of these people have really taken what they've been interested in and they really made like a career for themselves. And
Their
I-
lives, yeah.
I respect like anyone for just anything that they want to do, like no matter how crazy it might seem to someone else, it's just as long as they're chasing it. You know?
No, well, you must have loved the movie Bohemian Rhapsody when it came out. I feel like we're getting to see his story in the beginning, and that
We'll be in the
part. We'll be in the
biopic.
We'll
biopic.
be in the
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
We knew him when,
Yes.
but Bohemian Rhapsody with
Sandra
Freddie
Bullock.
Mercury.
It's still on my list. I haven't gotten around to
Oh,
seeing
you haven't
it.
gotten around to see it. Okay, I won't burst in.
It's
But I
near
can
the top of the
imagine.
list for me to see.
Well, when
though.
they do your biopic, Sandra Bullock should play me.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I remember seeing the movie, and that was the part of that particular movie I liked, was how the band came about and each individual. And we're getting a chance by you coming on the show today and telling us about your band and letting us experience your music. And I just feel thrilled and honored that we get that chance to be part of,
Yeah, it's
your
awesome.
journey.
Your family must be so proud. Like your
They are,
parents,
yeah.
when they see from a childhood that and working towards adulthood as a musician, that journey, they've journeyed with you.
They've been so supportive since day one, like
Right.
because I think ultimately they just wanted me to be happy doing with what I wanted to do.
Totally.
And I know, like to most people, there was a long period of time where I'd be talking to people and they'd be like, "What do you do?" And I'd be like, "Well, I'm a musician." And some people kind of shrug their shoulders at that.
Yeah.
But I've really worked hard to kind of make it what I do.
You've
really.
made it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's, people don't realize that it's the hours of work that you put in, not
Yeah.
just when you're,
Not when you're
playing a
performing.
gig or
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
the hours of work that you put in to be able to get to that performance, right? And as you said, you're trying to pull in every aspect. You're teaching music. You're working with other bands. And that's an incredible amount of commitment, and that's really
Yeah.
commendable
Exactly.
to watch you do that. And to
Hard
see that
work
you're doing
pays
that.
off, right, Dylan?
Well,
it
Yes.
does.
Unfortunately, we're out of time for this show. Where can we find you? Can we find you on Facebook if we want to book you?
Yes,
or anything?
you can find me on Facebook under Dylan Ryan and the Dream Romantic.
Dillon.
Dylan
Yes,
Ryan and
good.
the Dream Romantics. Thank
Yeah.
you for watching us here today at Have a Chat.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, we'll see you again. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.